所以第一个问题我想问问啊，济南市乡小，就是作为您在第二次海湾战争时任美国空军驻以色列的武官，对比现在美国对伊朗的军事行动，相隔20多年，能不能先总结一下美国现在的军事打击能力和20多年前的这个进化程度，能力加强了多少？这样的打击能力，中共国有没有能力防守住？如果在未来啊。
Thank you, and thanks to Luda for having me come and speak on his show. It's an honor to participate today. There are some significant differences and some similarities, but I will focus on the differences between the Second Gulf War and today. During the First Gulf War, we did not have as many stealth aircraft as we have today. And the stealth fighters and the stealth bombers have made a significant impact on the ability to get to strike targets in Iran. The second area of major change is the level of intelligence that the U.S. and the Israelis were able to collect over the last 20, 25 years against Iran, specifically its government and its military, by being able to basically wipe out the entire leadership of Iran, political and most of the military. This was a significant ability that was not really available or developed during the Second Gulf War. The third area that has been expanded and developed is the area of electronic warfare. In the beginning of this war, the Israelis and the Americans were able to basically destroy the eyes and ears of Iran and not be able to detect and prevent any strikes in the beginning of the war. And as the war progressed, they were able to roll up the rest of the air and missile defense systems protecting Iran. This was also significant in that there have been no, up till now, thank God, there have been no aircraft, manned aircraft shot down by the Iranians. There have been unmanned aircraft shot down. Both Israeli and American drones have been shot down. Those drones were doing reconnaissance or intelligence gathering, and some of them had also weapons on board. And we also had 3 F-15s that were shot down by Kuwait accidentally. And unfortunately today, there was a crash of a KC-135 tanker near Iraq, and we believe one aircraft safely landed, but the other apparently crashed. We don't know the results of that. The F-15s, for example, the 2 crew on each of those 3 aircraft were able to parachute and land safely in Kuwait. So there was no injuries or death from those strikes. So far, I believe around half a dozen American soldiers have died, and several civilians throughout the Gulf have been killed, as well as in Israel. About a dozen Israelis have been killed, civilians. And interestingly enough, I believe one Chinese person in Israel was killed, and one Chinese person in Iran was killed as part of the strikes. So from the point of view of the West, this war is going quite well and being very successful against Iranian, Russian, and Chinese weapon systems. So that's the big difference. Is in the Second Gulf War, Iraq didn't really have a lot of high-end technology, whereas in this war, Iran does have high-end technology from the Russians and the Chinese, but it has been ineffective against the U.S. and Israeli weapon systems. I would like to also add, in the First and Second Gulf Wars, the Israelis did not conduct offensive operations against Iraq, whereas in this war, the Israelis and the Americans are fighting together mainly through air power, to strike Iran. So this is the first time that the Israelis and the Americans are fighting together offensively against a common enemy. During the second Gulf War, the Israelis and the Americans were focused on defense, focused on concern about Israel getting struck by missiles from Iraq. As you might remember, or maybe you don't know, in the first Gulf War, over 40 Scud missiles were fired from Iraq and hit Israel. And Israel had no missile defense system. They had Patriot, but they were not that effective against the missiles because even though they might have hit the warheads, the shrapnel from the warhead still came down and hit houses and killed people. So 40 missiles compared to over several hundred missiles have struck Israel, have struck the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, and even Saudi Arabia and Oman. Many countries in the Middle East have been struck by these missiles from Iran, and luckily they all have good missile defense systems from the U.S., from Korea, and from other countries. I guess the final point between the difference between the second Gulf War and today's war is the fact that actually most of the Arab countries in the region are supportive of the U.S.-Israeli strike against Iran. During the first and second Gulf War, the Arab countries did not want Israel to participate in the war against Iraq. But in this war, the war protecting the Arab states and Israel from the threat from Iran, the Arab states support what the United States and Israel are doing against Iran. So this is also a significant difference. And so we see as a result over time that the Arab countries and Israel are now closer together as a result of the aggression conducted by Iran and its terrorist supporters such as Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis.